Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like you're not enough? Maybe you compare yourself to others, doubt your own abilities, or avoid challenges because of fear. If that sounds like you, don't worry, you're not alone. Today, I'll share with you the 5 main points about self-doubt and low confidence that can completely change the way you see yourself. The causes of low confidence are often deeply rooted in the way people perceive themselves, the environments in which they grow up, and the standards they feel they must live up to. For many individuals, confidence is not something that comes naturally, but is shaped by external influences from childhood into adulthood. One of the strongest contributors is the constant habit of comparing oneself to others. From a young age, children are exposed to peers who might excel academically, perform better in sports, or receive more recognition from teachers and parents. In today's digital age, this comparison has been magnified 100-fold. Social media feeds are filled with curated images of success, beauty, wealth, and achievement, leading individuals to believe they are perpetually falling short. The truth is that people rarely post their failures, insecurities, or struggles online, yet the human mind processes those polished snapshots as reality. And as a result, the person looking in from the outside begins to feel inadequate. Over time, these comparisons erode confidence. Planting the seed of self-doubt, family and societal expectations are another powerful factor. Many families, with good intentions, set high standards for their children, believing that pressure will push them toward excellence. Parents may insist on perfect grades, prestigious careers, or flawless behavior, forgetting that these demands can create overwhelming internal pressure. Similarly, cultural norms and societal definitions of success shape the way individuals measure their worth. In societies where status, wealth, or appearance dominate, those who do not fit the mold are often left feeling unworthy. A young professional, for example, might feel behind if they do not own a house by a certain age or have not achieved a particular career milestone. The weight of these external benchmarks can make a person feel as though their personal achievements mean very little, simply because they do not align with what society deems impressive. Negative past experiences are equally damaging. A child who is bullied at school, criticized harshly at home, or overlooked in group activities may internalize the belief that they are not good enough. These experiences can linger well into adulthood. A person who once froze during a public speech might avoid speaking opportunities for years, carrying the embarrassment with them like a shadow. Similarly, repeated failure in school, rejection in relationships, or disappointment in professional endeavors builds a narrative that the individual is destined to fail. The brain, wired to remember negative experiences more vividly than positive ones, reinforces this cycle. Each new challenge becomes clouded by the weight of previous setbacks. And instead of approaching situations with confidence, the individual anticipates failure before even beginning. Cultural background also plays an important role. In some cultures, humility and modesty are valued to the extent that expressing confidence can be mistaken for arrogance. Children raised in such environments may grow up suppressing their strengths, downplaying their achievements, and learning to avoid the spotlight. While modesty can be a virtue, taken to the extreme, it can prevent individuals from developing a healthy sense of self-worth. They may struggle to advocate for themselves, hesitate to ask for opportunities, and feel guilty for celebrating their own success. This cultural dynamic, while subtle, shapes the internal dialogue of many people who otherwise have great potential. Education systems, too, contribute to the problem. Schools often measure intelligence and ability through narrow lenses such as standardized testing or strict grading systems. Students who learn differently or whose strengths lie outside traditional academics may feel less capable. A talented artist in a school that prioritizes mathematics and science, for instance, may grow up feeling as though their skills are less valuable. This perceived lack of value can stay with them for life, leading to a belief that they are somehow inferior to others whose abilities align with mainstream standards. Work environments can reinforce or create new insecurities. An unsupportive boss, competitive colleagues, or a toxic culture can make employees question their skills. If achievements go unrecognized or efforts are constantly criticized, workers can lose faith in their abilities. For someone new to a job, even small mistakes can feel like catastrophic failures if they are met with harsh feedback. Over time, this lack of encouragement chips away at confidence, leaving the employee hesitant to take risks or showcase ideas. There are also personal factors, such as personality traits and mental health. People who are naturally introverted or sensitive may be more prone to overthinking interactions and doubting themselves. Those with anxiety or depression often battle distorted thought patterns, convincing themselves they are incapable or unworthy even when evidence suggests otherwise, without proper support, therapy, or coping strategies. These internal battles become barriers to confidence. Physical appearance can be another source of insecurity. From body image issues to concerns about height, weight, or features, countless people struggle to feel comfortable in their own skin. Media portrayals of beauty standards exacerbate this struggle, making people feel unattractive if they do not match the idealized versions of beauty. Someone may have extraordinary skills or intelligence, but if they dislike the way they look, their overall confidence can still suffer deeply. Finally, a lack of positive reinforcement during formative years can leave individuals without the tools to build confidence. Children who are never praised for effort, only for perfection, may grow up believing that nothing short of flawless performance is acceptable. Adults who never receive recognition in their personal or professional lives may start to question whether their contributions matter at all. Humans are wired to seek validation and belonging, and without it, self-doubt easily takes root. Understanding the causes of low confidence is critical because it helps individuals recognize that their struggles are not personal flaws, but rather the result of layered experiences, influences, and environments. Confidence is not something people are simply born with, or without it is cultivated, shaped, and sometimes undermined by the circumstances surrounding them. By tracing back to the causes, one can begin the process of rebuilding. Identifying whether self-doubt stems from comparison, family expectations, past trauma, societal pressure, or a combination of factors is the first step toward breaking free from its grip. When people realize that low confidence is not an inherent truth but a learned response, they open the door to unlearning and rewriting the narrative of who they are and what they are capable of achieving. The signs of low confidence often manifest in ways that are both visible to others and deeply felt within the individual. These indicators may appear subtle at first, but, when left unaddressed, they can become ingrained behaviors that hold someone back from personal and professional growth. Recognizing these signs is essential because they reveal the hidden battles of self-doubt and help us understand how confidence or the lack of it shapes decisions, relationships, and overall quality of life. One of the most common signs of low confidence is the avoidance of communication, especially in situations where an individual feels they might be judged. A person who doubts themselves may hesitate to speak up during meetings, avoid eye contact in conversations, or remain silent in group discussions, even when they have valuable insights to share. The fear of saying something wrong or being misunderstood paralyzes them into inaction. This silence can easily be misinterpreted by others as disinterest or lack of knowledge, reinforcing the individual's internal narrative that they are not capable. Over time, this avoidance creates a cycle. The less they speak, the less they are heard, and the more invisible they feel. Self-doubt also reveals itself through a constant questioning of one's own abilities. Individuals with low confidence often second-guess even simple decisions. Something as minor as choosing what to wear, what food to order, or how to respond to an email can become an exhausting mental battle. In more significant areas, like career choices or relationship decisions, this doubt can be paralyzing. They may find themselves asking, "Am I really good enough? Or what if I fail?" These questions, instead of motivating preparation, tend to erode their willingness to act. The persistent inner critic, always highlighting flaws and downplaying strengths, becomes a loud voice that overshadows rational thought. Another clear sign is the avoidance of challenges and reluctance to step out of the comfort zone. People with low confidence tend to shy away from opportunities that could lead to growth because they fear failure or embarrassment. For example, a student might avoid participating in class discussions even when they know the answer, simply because the thought of being wrong terrifies them. An employee might decline a leadership role or project because they believe they are not capable of handling the responsibility. This fear-driven avoidance prevents them from discovering their potential and achieving milestones that could, ironically, boost their confidence. Unfortunately, each missed opportunity becomes further evidence, in their mind, that they are incapable. Perfectionism can also be a sign of low confidence, even though it is often mistaken for diligence or high standards. People struggling with self-doubt may feel the need to make everything flawless because they fear criticism. Instead of seeing mistakes as learning opportunities, they interpret them as proof of incompetence. This perfectionism often leads to procrastination, because the idea of producing something less than perfect is unbearable. As deadlines approach, the individual may experience heightened anxiety, reinforcing the idea that they cannot handle pressure. What looks like laziness to outsiders is often a manifestation of fear and self-doubt within. Body language is another subtle but powerful indicator. Those with low confidence may slouch, avoid eye contact, speak softly, or fidget. When interacting with others, they might physically shrink into themselves, trying not to take up space, as if their presence is an inconvenience. In social gatherings, they may stand on the sidelines rather than participate actively. This nonverbal communication often speaks louder than words, signaling insecurity to others and further isolating the individual. Low confidence also impacts the way people receive compliments and recognition. Instead of accepting praise with gratitude, they may downplay or reject it. When told, "You did a great job," someone with low confidence might respond, "It was nothing," or "I just got lucky." they may struggle to believe that their success is due to their own ability, attributing it instead to external factors like luck or help from others. This inability to internalize success prevents the building of a positive self-image and keeps them trapped in self-doubt. Relationships can be strained as a result of these behaviors. People with low confidence often find it difficult to set boundaries because they fear rejection or disapproval. They may become people pleasers, saying yes to everything in order to avoid conflict, even at the cost of their own needs. Alternatively, some withdraw entirely, avoiding close relationships because they believe they are unworthy of love or friendship. In both cases, low confidence shapes how they interact with others, often creating unbalanced or unfulfilling relationships. Academic and professional performance can also reveal signs of low confidence. Students may avoid applying for scholarships, leadership roles, or challenging classes because they assume they will fail. In the workplace, employees may hesitate to ask for promotions, salary raises, or new responsibilities, even when they are more than qualified. Their lack of belief in themselves convinces them to stay in safe, familiar roles. This self-limitation prevents them from reaching their full potential and reinforces the gap between their abilities and achievements. Another internal sign of low confidence is excessive overthinking. After social interactions, people may replay conversations in their minds, obsessing over whether they said something wrong or appeared foolish. This mental replay creates unnecessary stress and keeps them trapped in the past. Instead of learning from experiences, they punish themselves for imagined mistakes, further damaging their confidence. At its most serious, low confidence can manifest in feelings of hopelessness and withdrawal from opportunities altogether. Individuals may stop setting goals or pursuing dreams because they no longer believe they can succeed. This resignation is dangerous because it not only limits growth but also risks leading to depression and other mental health challenges. By observing these signs, avoidance of communication, constant self-doubt, reluctance to embrace challenges, perfectionism, negative body language, difficulty accepting praise, strained relationships, limited ambition, and overthinking, we can begin to see the silent but profound ways low confidence affects daily life. Recognizing these signs is not about labeling someone as weak but about identifying areas where support, encouragement, and growth are needed. The good news is that once these patterns are visible, they can be addressed. Confidence is not an unchangeable trait. It is a skill that can be built, nurtured, and strengthened over time. The effects of self-doubt and low confidence run far deeper than many people realize. At first glance, they might appear as minor inconveniences: hesitation to speak in public, reluctance to take on challenges, or the tendency to compare oneself with others. But beneath the surface, these seemingly small patterns accumulate, shaping the course of a person's life in profound ways. Confidence functions as a foundation for growth, and when that foundation is shaky, everything built upon it becomes unstable. The consequences touch personal development, mental health, relationships, and opportunities, creating a cycle that can be difficult to break. One of the most immediate effects of self-doubt is the limitation it places on personal growth. When people believe they are not capable, they stop themselves from trying. Opportunities that could lead to learning and improvement are avoided because the fear of failure looms larger than the possibility of success. Imagine a student who dreams of studying abroad but convinces themselves they are not intelligent enough to pass the entrance exams. Rather than preparing and trying, they abandon the idea altogether. In doing so, they not only miss the opportunity itself but also the chance to build resilience, develop new skills, and expand their perspective. Over time, these missed chances accumulate, creating a life marked more by what could have been than by achievements. This self-imposed limitation also shows up in professional life. Employees who lack confidence may remain stuck in the same role for years, watching others climb the career ladder. They may have the skills to lead but avoid applying for managerial positions, believing they are unworthy. As a result, their talents remain hidden, their potential unrealized. This stagnation can breed frustration and resentment, which paradoxically deepens the cycle of self-doubt. The more they stay in one place, the more they convince themselves that they are incapable of moving forward. Beyond limiting growth, low confidence has serious effects on mental health. Self-doubt often fuels anxiety, as individuals constantly worry about making mistakes, being judged, or not meeting expectations. This anxiety can manifest physically through restlessness, rapid heartbeat, or difficulty sleeping. In more severe cases, persistent self-doubt leads to chronic stress, as the individual is trapped in a loop of negative thoughts. Depression may also take root when people internalize the belief that they are not good enough, leading to feelings of hopelessness and despair. For some, the weight of self-doubt becomes so heavy that they lose interest in activities they once enjoyed, withdrawing from social interactions and isolating themselves. Relationships, too, are deeply affected. People with low confidence often struggle to maintain balanced and fulfilling connections with others. Because they doubt their own worth, they may seek constant validation from partners, friends, or colleagues. This need for reassurance can strain relationships, making them feel one-sided. On the other hand, some individuals withdraw entirely, believing they are unworthy of love, friendship, or support. They may keep others at arm's length, fearing rejection or abandonment. Over time, these patterns can lead to loneliness and reinforce the belief that they are undeserving of connection. In romantic relationships, self-doubt may result in jealousy, insecurity, or the inability to trust, all of which can erode intimacy and stability. The effects also extend to communication. When people lack confidence, their voices are often silenced. They may hold back ideas in group discussions, avoid giving presentations, or struggle to assert themselves in negotiations. As a result, their perspectives go unheard, and they miss the chance to influence outcomes or showcase their talents. This silence not only affects their personal growth, but also deprives teams and communities of valuable contributions. In professional settings, it may even cost them recognition, promotions, or respect from colleagues. Low confidence influences decision-making in subtle but powerful ways. Someone who doubts themselves may overthink every choice, from career paths to daily routines. The fear of making the wrong decision leads to indecision, which in itself can be damaging. Opportunities are lost simply because no action was taken. Over time, indecision becomes a habit, leaving individuals feeling stuck and powerless. This paralysis can be especially damaging in fast-paced environments where adaptability and decisiveness are valued. Another effect of self-doubt is a distorted self. People with low confidence often focus excessively on their flaws, real or imagined, while ignoring their strengths. A talented artist may dismiss their work as unoriginal, while a skilled professional may downplay their achievements as luck. This distorted lens prevents them from seeing their true value, making it difficult to celebrate progress or build momentum. In some cases, individuals develop imposter syndrome, where they feel like frauds despite evidence of competence and success. Living with this constant fear of being exposed takes a heavy emotional toll. The academic world is not immune to these effects. Students with low confidence may underperform, not because they lack ability, but because they doubt themselves. They may avoid advanced courses, fail to participate in discussions, or refrain from applying for scholarships and opportunities. This creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. Believing they cannot succeed, they limit their chances, and the lack of achievement then becomes proof of their supposed inadequacy. Teachers and peers may misinterpret this behavior as laziness or lack of interest, when in reality, it is the manifestation of deep self-doubt. On a broader level, the collective effects of self-doubt can shape communities and societies. When large numbers of people hold themselves back, innovation, creativity, and progress suffer. Great ideas remain unspoken, potential leaders remain unseen, and communities lose out on the contributions of those who silence themselves. Confidence, therefore, is not just a personal trait but a collective resource. When it is lacking, everyone is impacted. Perhaps the most tragic effect of self-doubt is the erosion of dreams. People stop aspiring to what they truly want, settling, instead, for what feels safe or expected. They may choose careers that are secure but unfulfilling, avoid pursuing passions, or abandon goals altogether. Over time, this can lead to a life filled with regret, where the question of what if becomes a constant companion. The loss is not only personal but also societal, as the world misses out on the unique gifts and contributions that individual could have made. In short, the effects of self-doubt ripple across every area of life. They limit growth, damage mental health, strain relationships, silence voices, distort self-perception, and prevent people from reaching their full potential. What makes these effects particularly insidious is their cumulative nature. One missed opportunity may seem small, but over years, the pattern creates a vastly different life trajectory. Recognizing these consequences is vital, not to dwell on the damage, but to emphasize the urgency of addressing self-doubt. Confidence is not simply about feeling good, it is about unlocking the ability to live fully, to connect deeply, and to contribute meaningfully. Overcoming self-doubt and rebuilding confidence is not an overnight transformation, but a gradual process that requires patience, effort, and consistency. Low confidence may have taken years to form, shaped by comparisons, failures, or societal pressures, and so it naturally takes time to undo these patterns. The encouraging truth is that confidence is not something fixed or predetermined. It is a skill, and like any skill, it can be learned, practiced, and strengthened. The key is to adopt practical strategies that shift both mindset and behavior, moving from self-limiting beliefs to a sense of empowerment. One of the first steps in overcoming self-doubt is shifting focus from weaknesses to strengths. People who lack confidence tend to obsess over what they are not good at, magnifying flaws while ignoring achievements. To reverse this pattern, it helps to deliberately recognize and celebrate personal strengths. This could be done through a simple exercise such as writing down 3 things you did well each day. Over time, This trains the brain to notice competence rather than deficiency. Even small accomplishments, completing a task on time, helping a friend, or speaking up once in class, deserve recognition. When acknowledged consistently, these moments form the building blocks of confidence. Setting small, achievable goals is another powerful tool. Large goals can feel overwhelming and feed into the fear of failure, whereas smaller goals create opportunities for consistent success. For instance, someone who fears public speaking should not begin with a large audience, but rather with speaking to a supportive friend or a small group. Each success builds momentum, and the gradual progress reinforces the belief that challenges can be managed. These small victories, though modest, accumulate into a strong sense of competence, encouraging individuals to take on larger challenges with time. Reframing failure is equally critical. Many people with low confidence interpret failure as a permanent reflection of their worth. Instead, it must be seen as a learning opportunity. Every successful individual, from entrepreneurs to athletes, has experienced setbacks. What differentiates them is not the absence of failure, but the ability to learn from it. Shifting the mindset from "I failed, so I am a failure" to "I failed, so I learned something valuable" is transformative. This reframing allows individuals to take risks without being paralyzed by the fear of imperfection. In fact, each failure can be reinterpreted as a stepping stone toward eventual success. Practicing self-affirmation also plays an important role in overcoming the internal voice of a person with low confidence is often harsh and critical, repeating negative phrases like "I'm not good enough" or "I can't do this." These thoughts, though often irrational, feel convincing because they are repeated so often. Replacing them with positive affirmations may feel unnatural at first, but over time, the brain begins to accept these new messages. Statements such as "I am capable of learning," "I deserve to be heard," or "I can handle challenges" gradually reshape self-perception. Saying these affirmations aloud, writing them down, or placing them where they are visible each day reinforces the process. Exposure to challenges, rather than avoidance, is also essential. Avoidance provides temporary relief from anxiety but strengthens the belief that one is incapable. Facing challenges in controlled, manageable doses builds resilience. For example, someone who avoids networking events due to low confidence can start by attending for just a short period, aiming to have one conversation. The next time, they can extend their stay and speak to more people. This method of gradual exposure creates evidence that the individual can handle discomfort, which in turn reduces fear and builds confidence. Another important strategy is seeking support from others. Confidence grows more easily in an environment where encouragement is present. Surrounding oneself with supportive friends, mentors, or communities provides reassurance and constructive feedback. A mentor, for instance, can help identify strengths that the individual overlooks and guide them through challenges with perspective and advice. Equally important is reducing exposure to toxic influences, people who criticize harshly, belittle achievements, or constantly compare. Choosing a positive environment helps create a safe space where confidence can thrive. Self-care practices also contribute to overcoming doubt. Physical health has a direct impact on mental resilience. Regular exercise boosts mood, reduces anxiety, and fosters a sense of accomplishment. A balanced diet and adequate sleep improve focus and energy levels, both of which are essential for handling challenges. Meditation and mindfulness techniques further help by calming the mind and reducing the constant chatter of negative thoughts. These practices create a stable foundation upon which confidence can be built. Journaling can be another effective method. Writing down fears, doubts, and experiences creates clarity and helps individuals recognize patterns in their thinking. It can also serve as a record of progress. Looking back on earlier entries often reveals growth that might otherwise go unnoticed. Journaling transforms abstract worries into tangible words, making them easier to address and reframe. Learning new skills is yet another pathway to building confidence. Each time an individual masters something new, whether it is cooking a dish, learning a language, or improving a technical skill, they accumulate evidence of their capability. The process of learning also shifts the focus from perfection to growth, reminding individuals that progress is valuable even if mastery takes time. Finally, practicing gratitude helps shift perspective from scarcity to abundance. When people focus only on what they lack, they feel inadequate. By deliberately noticing and appreciating what they have, supportive relationships, opportunities, talents, or even simple, daily comforts, they begin to build a more balanced and positive self-view. Gratitude fosters resilience and reduces the tendency to dwell on perceived shortcomings. Overcoming self-doubt is not about eliminating fear or insecurity entirely, but about learning to move forward despite them. Confidence is not the absence of self-questioning, but the decision to act regardless of it. With time, the combination of focusing on strengths, setting small goals, reframing failure, practicing self-affirmation, facing challenges, seeking support, maintaining self-care, journaling, learning new skills, and cultivating gratitude creates a powerful framework for transformation. What once felt like an unshakable identity, being someone who lacks confidence, becomes a temporary state that can be changed. When these practices are applied consistently, the effects ripple outward. The individual begins to take risks, embrace opportunities, build stronger relationships, and contribute more meaningfully in every area of life. The journey from self-doubt to confidence is rarely linear, but each step forward proves that change is possible. And with each step, the voice of doubt grows quieter, replaced by a voice that says, with growing certainty, I am capable, I am enough. Maintaining long-term confidence is often more challenging than building it in the first place. Many people manage to boost their self-esteem temporarily through success, encouragement, or deliberate practice. But over time, setbacks and external pressures can cause that confidence to waver. True confidence is not just a fleeting feeling, it is a resilient state of mind and a set of habits that allow a person to stay steady even in the face of criticism, failure, or uncertainty. To sustain confidence, it is essential to cultivate a lifestyle and mindset that reinforce it consistently. One of the most effective ways to maintain confidence is to build and sustain positive habits. Habits form the structure of daily life, and they either weaken or strengthen one's self-belief. Physical habits like regular exercise, balanced nutrition, and quality sleep do more than improve health. They boost energy, sharpen focus, and provide a sense of control. Mental habits, such as reading, meditation, or journaling, strengthen resilience and clarity. For example, daily meditation helps quiet the inner critic, while journaling can highlight progress and reinforce gratitude. By integrating these routines into daily life, individuals create a stable foundation that naturally supports confidence. Equally important is the company one keeps. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift and support you plays a vital role in sustaining confidence. Confidence is contagious. Spending time with individuals who are encouraging, ambitious, and optimistic helps reinforce positive self-perception. On the other hand, toxic relationships, those characterized by constant criticism, negativity, or comparison, gradually erode self. Choosing to engage with communities, friends, or mentors who celebrate effort and progress rather than perfection provides the encouragement necessary to keep self-belief alive over time. Acknowledging small wins is another key to maintaining confidence. Many people wait to celebrate only big achievements, like graduating, getting a promotion, or reaching a milestone. But confidence grows when people consistently recognize the smaller steps that lead to those milestones. Completing a workout, speaking up in a meeting, or simply sticking to a morning routine are victories worth acknowledging. Each acknowledgement creates a sense of progress and reinforces the belief that growth is happening, even if it feels slow. Over time, these micro-celebrations form a strong narrative of competence and perseverance. Continuous learning is also crucial. Confidence is easily shaken when individuals feel unprepared or stagnant. By committing to lifelong learning, whether through formal education, skill building, or personal growth, people maintain a sense of curiosity and adaptability. Learning a new language, developing technical expertise, or improving communication skills creates a steady stream of evidence that growth is always possible. This mindset not only builds confidence in current abilities, but also creates trust in one's capacity to handle future challenges. Another important aspect of long-term confidence is resilience in the face of setbacks. Life will inevitably present obstacles, criticism, and failures. Without resilience, these experiences can dismantle confidence. Resilient individuals, however, understand that setbacks are temporary and do not define their worth. They recover more quickly because they focus on lessons learned rather than mistakes made. Building resilience involves reframing challenges as opportunities, practicing patience, and remembering that one failure does not erase past successes. Over time, this resilience becomes a shield that protects confidence from external blows. Practicing self-compassion is equally vital. Many people believe confidence comes from perfection, but the truth is that confidence grows when individuals accept their imperfections. Self-compassion means treating oneself with the same kindness and understanding offered to a friend. Instead of harsh self-criticism after a mistake, a compassionate response might be, "This was difficult, but I am learning." This approach reduces the destructive impact of setbacks and prevents the inner critic from regaining control. By cultivating self-compassion, confidence becomes less dependent on flawless performance and more rooted in self-acceptance. Maintaining long-term confidence also requires balance. Overcommitment and burnout can easily undermine self-belief, as exhaustion makes even small challenges feel insurmountable. Setting boundaries, managing time effectively, and ensuring rest are essential practices. A confident person does not need to prove themselves through endless work or constant busyness. Instead, they recognize the value of balance and protect their well-being accordingly. Mindset practices, such as visualization and gratitude, further reinforce confidence. Visualization helps individuals mentally rehearse success, strengthening their belief in their ability to achieve goals. Gratitude, on the other hand, shifts focus from scarcity to abundance, reducing comparison and insecurity. Together, these practices cultivate a mindset that is optimistic, forward-looking, and anchored in appreciation for progress. Consistency is perhaps the most important element in maintaining confidence. Confidence is like a muscle, it grows stronger with regular exercise but weakens if neglected. Daily practices such as affirmations, journaling, or small challenges keep the confidence muscle engaged. Consistency ensures that even when setbacks occur, the overall trajectory of growth remains positive. Ultimately, maintaining confidence long-term is about creating a life that reinforces it at every level. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and socially, it is about choosing habits that build strength, relationships that provide encouragement, goals that inspire progress, and mindsets that embrace both challenges and imperfections. Confidence is not a destination reached once and for all. It is a journey that must be nurtured continually. When sustained, confidence becomes more than just a personal asset. It radiates outward, inspiring others, strengthening communities, and opening doors that once seemed closed. A confident person not only believes in themselves, but also empowers those around them to believe in their own potential. By maintaining long-term confidence, individuals create not just a better life for themselves, but also a ripple effect of growth and encouragement in the world around them. Remember, self-doubt doesn't define you, it's just a temporary feeling. Confidence is something you can build, step by step. Which of these 5 points spoke to you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our community, where we grow stronger and more confident together.